Hello everybody, it's a new season and we're flying through it to get to the Club World Cup. If you haven't seen what this save has now turned into since we won the Champions League, go and watch the last video, it'll explain all of it. But we are doing the last two Champions League group game stages in this episode where we face a familiar foe and someone that we've played a lot, but I can't call them familiar because I've called this other club familiar. Anyway, roll the intro, I'll see you in the game. Hello, and here we are. It is the NK Maribor save, which will soon be getting a new title. But for the moment, it's still NK Maribor. We are the Champions League holders, and our Champions League defence didn't get off to the best of starts. We lost 2-1 to Monaco in our group. But before that, we won the UEFA Super Cup as Champions League winners. We beat Chelsea 1-1. We beat them 1-1? No, we didn't. We beat them on penalties after a 1-1 draw with Hodzic rescuing us in the 88th minute. And since then, we've been on pretty good form. We've drawn 3 games in the league, but other than that, we've won absolutely everything. However, we're not beating teams as much as we were. We're now getting 2-1 wins, 2-0 wins. Okay, there's the odd 5-0, 3-0 in there, 6-0. But generally in the league, there's 2-0, 1-0, 3-1s, 2-1s and things like that, which shows to me that Slovenian football is getting better. And along with that, before we look at our Champions League group, although you can probably see the results and see who's in it there, something I am keen to point out is if we look at MK Domžale, they've got through to the Europa League group and they've won a game in it as well. They beat Real Sociedad 2-1 in Slovenia, which was really, really good. The rest of it hasn't gone too well for them. They got a draw away at FC Midtjylland, but along with that, if we keep looking at the Europa League, Celje in there as well. They've got a draw in their group, drawing with Fenerbahce, lost the rest of the games. And Olimpia Ljubljana are in here as well. They've drawn a game against Vitor Guimarães. But 3 Slovenian teams we got into the Europa League this year, which is really, really good. And us in the Champions League. Slovenian football is most definitely on the up. If we look at the schedule then, as we said, our group is Madrid, Monaco and Galatasaray. We've beaten Galatasaray twice. We drew with Atletico Madrid 0-0. We lost to AS Monaco 2-1 in Monaco. But we have we're going away to Atletico Madrid in this episode, and then we're playing Monaco at home, and then we'll be back after this episode for the Club World Cup Championship, and we'll see how that goes. But as always, we have transfers to discuss in the first episode back. We have a lot of youngsters coming in to the club, which will happen in the future. We don't need to discuss that just yet, but we'll start with the outs. Djordjevic moved to NK Celje for 7.5 million. That was already agreed as part of his loan deal. He's gone. He's getting a lot of game time for them, which is good. Peter Rudenej moved to Elche for 7 million. That was also part of his loan contract. Christian Ajazi, the centre midfielder, has moved to Watford for 2.5 million. He just wasn't getting a place in our team. Alex Cardos, the man, the legend, has moved for 4 million to Saudi Arabia. Basically, we won the Champions League. 3 or 4 players came up and were like, look, I've achieved all I can. I want to sort of move on and have a new challenge, and I wasn't going to stand in their way. Cardos was one of them, and Dudui was the other. So he's now moved finally to the English Premier League. He's playing for Wolves. They signed for 2 million. He is a bit of a loss, but he was getting on a bit in age, and he was on extortionate wages, and he wasn't classed as a world-class attacking midfielder anymore. So it was sad to see him go, both of them go, to be honest, but they were getting to the end of their usefulness for NK Maribor. And then other than that was a lot of loanees out and not really that much else to discuss. Sven Kremer has gone to Girona, and I'm pretty sure he's got an agreed fee, optional future fee of 2.18 million. So hopefully he'll go as well. He's been a bit of a disappointment, never really broke into the team. But on the ins, we have signed 2 youngsters who are both pretty terrible. They came in from Man United, so he's made 10 appearances in the B team, so he's good enough to play for the B team. Not too bad for them. And Josh Wright, just to put out some numbers, he looks slightly better, could have some decent potential. 18 years old, come from Arsenal again, getting some appearances for the B team, which is good for him. But on to the big ones. Robert Margetson joins from Man United on a free transfer. Up front or either wing, really good acquisition. I'm really happy with him. He's played a few games for us, 10. He's got 2 goals. Very much a squad player at the moment. Generally a backup for the strikers. Then we'll do it in price order. Then we go to Jose Carlos Tejero, in from PSG, striker or left winger. We signed him for 5.25 million. He's played 6 appearances, got 1 goal. Doing very well for us. Might send him out on loan in January, not too sure yet. But he is doing alright. He's a very good option to have on the left wing as well, as a winger if we change the formation up, which we may have done. And then, moving on to the next transfer, Daniel Vakulimovic Guguric. I butchered that name. Basically, he's the next Stanko Hamsbergovic. He looks very, very good. He started the season pretty well. 6 assists, 2 goals in 9 appearances. We bought him for 6.75. Already worth 10 million. Already averaging a 7.5. Looks like he's going to be pretty good for us. Excuse me, got a bit of hiccups there. It looks like he's going to be very good for us. Very happy to get him in for that price as well. I think he's going to be a potential superstar for this team. But then finally we got in Andre Lurch. Now remember, we've signed from Man City, so he's not going to be very bad, but we've signed him for under 20 million. The first thing you notice, a world-class midfielder. The second thing you notice, his age. He's 23 and he's classed as a world-class midfielder. That is absolutely insane. He is brilliant, worth 20 million. As we said, signed him for 16.75, 11 appearances. He just makes everything tick. He's not going to get a lot of assists and he's not going to get a lot of goals because of how we're playing him. But he gets the ball in that centre of the midfield and he just makes things work. He passes the ball, spreads it long and to distance, generally gets it to feet. I mean, he looks to pass rather than to score, but he likes to try these long-range passes and likes to switch the ball to the other flank. He is absolutely superb. Man City, he had a pretty decent season for him. He was transfer listed. I was all over it. I was definitely getting him involved. Happy with that. So that's all the transfers we've made. We're doing pretty well at the moment, to be honest. As always, the league is going very, very well, so we don't have to worry too much about the league. But it's the Champions League and the European competitions that we want to do. So we've won the Super Cup. We've won, if I look competitions, I can show you. We've won the Super Cup. We won the UEFA Super Cup. We're into the semi-finals of the Cup. We're probably easily going to win the league like we normally do. And the Champions League, we're in a qualification position. We've just literally got to win pretty much one of these games. If we beat Atletico Madrid, we are through, which it would be ideal. So without further ado, let's move on to the Atletico Madrid game. And this is how we line up for the game. A slight change in formation, going back to a 4-2-3-1. So Vigilantes in goal. Zor, Garza, Jurakovic and Vukovic make up the back 4. Martinez and Lurch in the midfield 2. Valentin, Hodzic and Tejero are sitting behind Roche as a lone striker. On the bench we have Hamsbergovic, Markov, Madagali, Kovac, Lazaro, Pella and Blazic. And the game gets underway, and what we're doing now with this new formation, playing standard flexible, and we mix it up as the game goes and we see what we want to do. So you'll see straight away there are no instructions, but I am immediately going to do working the ball into the box and whip the crosses in, because whipping crosses just works on Football Manager 17 and everybody knows that if you play the game. But we lose out. Sergei comes forward, tackled very well by Lurch. He also loves a yellow card, does Lurch, in the centre of the midfield, as Roche goes on his own, shoots from range. And that is exactly why we work the ball into the box. But after 10 minutes, not much has happened. Really sort of expecting it to be that way. Our 4-3-1-2 formation has got found out a little bit by the computer. We were struggling to break teams down using it. So I've gone back to this, get a bit of wingers in there, make the play a bit wider. Teams won't expect us to play like that, as Lurch wins the ball again in the centre of the park, and Vukovic to Martinez. Back to Vukovic, looking to just build the play up. Lurch, Vukovic, Tejero, Hodzic, up to Roche. Beats his man into the box, and Hassouni makes a save, and he was so instrumental in them. Even though we beat them in the last season in the Champions League, Hassouni really did keep them in the game and make some amazing saves for them, as Valentin's cross is very poor. But yeah, we've gone away from the 4-3-1-2 for 2 sort of reasons. One, I don't want to use it when we make this a youth club challenge save, because it is an overpowered formation in Football Manager. I'm going to try and avoid using it. And, as I said before, teams have sort of figured us out playing it. They sort of know how to play against it. It seems like the AI has learned about what we were doing with it. As Roche is in and fires it in, and we'll get back to my discussions in a minute, because we're going to see that goal in 3D. So Hodzic picked it up in the middle of the park. Good ball through to Valentin on the right wing. His favoured position, to be fair. We're training as a centre midfielder. And then Roche just glanced it in off his head into the side netting. A wonderful header. A really, really good header. But Yeah, so the formation, the 4-3-1-2 formation, it is overpowered in Football Manager. Sergei makes it 1-1 with their first shot on target. Standard Football Manager. Yeah, the 4-3-1-2 is overpowered. You'll see a lot of YouTubers having success with it. It's not, you know, I don't blame them. It's people don't know it's overpowered. They don't always know it's overpowered, but it is, and it has been for years. It's a go-to formation generally, and I tend to avoid playing it because I normally do like playing with wingers. So in the Youth Challenge, Roche is in, and he makes it 2-1 with an immediate response. That was straight from the kickoff, not even a minute between the goals, as Martinez picks it up. A lovely dink over the top to find Roche, who just tucks it down. First touch was amazing. In behind. Oh, sneaks it in between goalkeeper and near post. And it is 2-1 to NK Maribor, and that is much better. As we get into half-time, and what we're going to do is just going to retain the possession a little bit more. We're going to try and shut the game down a little bit. We are away from home, so there's no need to really, you know, try and force the issue. We can look to shorten the passing and keep the ball, as it were. And I am going to tell the guys things are going very well. Let's keep it up, and we'll go with the old classic. I'm not going to get rid of this, even though I'm getting rid of the 4-3-1-2. I'm not going to get rid of the fact that you can tell them you have faith, but you know, faith in them to get better and play a bit better. And as again, Roche is mimicking his season from last year. He has started like an absolute freight train. He is playing very, very well, and it's good to see. To be honest, it's very good to see to have a striker like that. And I don't know if we're actually going to have time. This episode might be quite long. I don't know if we're going to have time to do both games. We'll see how this second half pans out. But we are 2-1 up away at Atletico Madrid, which is very, very good to see. Everyone playing pretty well. No one looking too tired. Hodzic on 68 is our lowest. But we have a throw. Zor to Hodzic. To Martinez on the edge. Shoots and Moreno clears. Zor controls it very well. Lurch looking to control the ball. Roche into Tejero, and Hassouni makes a good save. And he's picked up a little knock. I wonder if we'll be able to find out what that knock is that Hassouni's got. But Hassouni's a poor kick, and Valentin gets there. Hodzic picks it up after the header down from Martinez. Out to Zor, looking to get it to Valentin, but couldn't squeeze it through. And here comes Atletico Madrid. It's a ball over the top to Sergei. Ball across. Piaz save. Vigilante touches it round the post. And I'm just going to sit us on a counter because they've gone for the two wingers. As that's a poor corner, and Valentin gets it away. We'll sit slightly deeper as well, just so that we can, you know, pounce on them from a deep injury. He's got an arm injury, so it is going to affect his goalkeeping. Normally, I'm not fussed about arm injuries in Football Manager because footballers shouldn't be using their arms. But if you're a goalkeeper, it's obviously quite crucial part of the game. With 15 minutes to go, there really isn't much happening. We have a few tired legs out there. Don't really want to take Lurch off because he seems to be dictating the play. But Hodzic is going to come off and be replaced by Blazic. That's not a change. Well, that's a change I don't mind making, in fact, is what I was meant to say. And do I take him off? Yeah, let's give Madagali a go. It'll be a straight swap, so I suppose it's better to take the tired people off and just see how we do. As Mathon comes forward, tackled well by Zor, who then gets on the end of his tackle, but he's tackled by Van Hout, and Pace puts it into Mathon, who's then tackled by Gaza, and it comes out to Kenzie on the side. Tejero with a good tackle up to Roche. Can we launch his counter-attack? No, we can't, because the game thought, sod you, Dave, I'm not going to let you show anything that's going to happen. As Monaco are topping the group, 3 points clear of us. We're going to have to try and beat them in the last game of the group stage. But it does look like we're going through, although I might be speaking too soon as it's deflected in with 5 minutes to go. Van Hout deflects it in. It's always the way, isn't it? It deflected off Martinez. It's gone down as an own goal. Just as you discuss what might be happening, Football Manager listens to your microphone and royally screws you over. The deflection gave Vigilante absolutely no chance. So let's go and take the game to Atletico Madrid for these last few little bits. We'll mix up the thing. Why not? Let's get people looking for the overlap as well. And yeah, that's a little bit annoying. Let's go fluid so that we can get the defenders up. Vukovic to Madagal. Martinez into Tejero. He's in on goal. Shoots. What a save, Hassouni. Probably should have stuck that away, should Tejero. A good last chance for us to win the game. And Batistuta heads the corner clear. And there could be a counter-attack on here as Pays comes forward. He's got round one and he shoots from an impossible angle and he was never going to score from there because he's a muppet. But 2-2 and we're into injury time, and Tejero has just missed a glorious chance, and it falls to Valentin to Roche, who would look like he was fouled, but the ref said play on, and we get the ball back out to Tejero on the left wing. He's back into Madagali, into Martinez, to Blazic, out to Zor. Good football this. He's tackled, and that could launch them a counter-attack as Mathon comes forward. Gaza reads it very well. Zor picks up that header down, but it comes back to Ponce. Baldan out to Mathlon, and Gaza's there again. Pays was offside anyway. And it looks like that's going to be the game, and it's going to be an entertaining 2-2 draw. Doesn't quite finish us off the group. We're going to have to go and get a result at Monaco, or in Slovenia against Monaco, because it's more than likely Atletico Madrid are going to win the game against Galatasaray. So we have to better their result. That is literally all we have to do. And that is very annoying. And I think I am going to not show that game because I don't want this episode to go on too long. So when we come back for the Club World Cup, we'll know whether we've gone through in the Champions League or not. So it was a very unfortunate own goal, but I'll let the assistant manager do that. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We'll praise Roche's performance because he was very, very, very good in front of goal. The draw hasn't been done for the Club World Cup, so I have no idea who we can be playing against. But we will leave it there. And I just want to say thank you so much for the support on this on my channel, on the videos that I'm producing. And, you know, this series has basically come to an end with the Champions League win. We're going to do the Club World Cup. And then, as I said in the other video, the new series, the Youth Challenge, will be coming out as a brand new series just in 2035 or 2036 as it will be then. But I look forward to continuing this journey all the way up until Football Manager 18 comes out. But for now, I'll chat to you very, very soon. And thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you're new, why not subscribe? And I'll chat to you very, very soon. But for now, I am out. Cheers.